ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Just Plain Living. I'm John Gray.
Good morning, John. I'm Peggy Burton.
The infamous and famous Peggy Burton.
Well, let's just go with infamous.
Infamous, yeah. I guess we're both sort of infamous, aren't we?
It's good to be back.
Hey, it's good to be back.
The day is beautiful out there.
We
Wow.
missed you last week.
Was I gone?
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
I went and had eye things.
You had a little eye surgery.
No, they didn't do the surgery.
Okay.
I'll tell you why. Because I had the lasers done on my eyes,
okay.
and when the doctor gave me the test, or the nurse or whoever gave me the eye test, they thought I had 20/20 vision in my right eye, and I could see better than I've seen in 2 years.
Good for you.
Now that's not guaranteed to last.
Well,
Anyway,
there are no guarantees.
they didn't do the ocular implant,
Excuse me.
so I can see half of you.
You can see half of me. Well, good. Maybe I look better half the size I am.
Oh,
I'm about half the size I was 2 years ago.
you sure are. We're going to wake up one day and we'll say, "Where's John?"
Hey, we got a couple of things. We got this weekend
Oh yeah,
the gala at South Jackson Civic Center, Gadsby Gala.
it's June 7th at 6 p.m. and you can put on your best 1920s outfit,
Oh, yeah.
or come however, wear what you wear to Sunday school, whatever. I don't care.
Right.
Just come. It's going to be a lot of fun, they say.
And there's all kinds of things going on, and I don't know whether usually they have old cards staged out front.
Oh yeah,
for pictures and stuff like
the
that.
decorations are all back in the 20s,
Right.
or 100 years ago.
Gambling.
And you get $30,000 worth of fake money, I guess.
Fake $30,000. Reckon you could con somebody into taking that. But no, there's all kinds of great prizes, just a few of them.
If you love to gamble, it'll be
Yeah.
fun.
There's the Nashville Predators package. There's the Savannah Bananas Company. Now, I don't know what that is, but evidently they have a big prize there that you can get. Jack Daniels has some stuff down there. A trip to Miramar Beach.
That's
where Top Gun was done.
right,
the
and
movie.
that's I think it's a week.
Week?
Well, I don't swear to that,
and much more. All kinds of things. There's live auction, silent auction, juke music,
cash bar, and live and silent auctions.
That's right. So, and it's one of the major fundraisers for the Civic Center, who is doing such a good job right now.
Oh yeah.
And everybody in town needs to be part of this, because we're winning prizes all across the state for what happens at that building.
Yes, we are, and they're doing a lot, and it makes this town look really good.
Oh yeah, and the new parking lot's being built
in the back of the building.
Right.
So and thank you to the city for that.
Thank you to the city for that. And then we've got let's see what else is coming up.
You got a token for a drink at the bar, and there's lots of food.
Lots of food.
I don't know if we mentioned that. Well, the auditions for South Jackson Goes Country. It is on Sunday starting at 2 o'clock. It'll end probably when it ends. I'm not going to say what time it'll end.
Right.
But on Monday night, the 9th, it starts at 6 o'clock and will go at least till 9.
Okay.
So if you haven't made a reservation, just show up and fill out a form.
Right. And this will be our 48th?
6th, I think. Don't hold me to that.
No, last year was the 6th. So this is the 7th probably.
Well, it could be.
I don't know.
I'm not really sure.
Of them.
Yeah.
Bunch of them.
I've been there a long time, and it's.
And I heard a little bird say, what little birds, they chirp a lot.
Right.
You can learn a lot if you listen to a little bird chirping.
Yeah.
That there's this guy that has been on the show before.
And he's coming to.
Who is a really great young artist, and he's coming, and his first album's coming out, and it's J4 Wandas.
Well, I'm so excited that he found the time to come, because
Right,
he's going
right.
on tour pretty soon, and
Right. And,
anyway,
hey,
he's
even going to be right here today.
Yeah.
J4 Wanda's.
Right.
Sure is.
He might have shown up already.
He might be back there waiting on us to get through here.
Yeah.
So don't forget about South Jackson Civic Center. There's stuff going on all the time.
And next Tuesday night, of course, we got one more day of this show, but next Tuesday night is the International Folk Festival,
Right.
where we have Puerto Rico, Poland, and Estonia.
Estonia.
Estonia,
And,
yeah.
and do we have somebody from America?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
The United States. And it starts at 7, it ends at 9, they're right on time, and there's pictures of them there. I love to see the costumes. And I think the thing that I love the most about this, it's international music is for everybody. You can't be mad and fight people when they're singing and dancing and playing their instruments.
And celebrate life through the dance.
And also, the tickets are for adults $10 a piece, and for students and children 16 and under $5.
Yeah.
We want people to come. We want people to meet and mingle with these people from other countries. It's a great time to have a good time, and you can get up in the aisles and dance with them if you want to.
Now, is that where we sing "Peace on Earth"?
Yes, I hope you'll do that.
I'll do my best.
We're rehearsing today at 5:45 at your church, First Christian.
Well.
And it's kind of hard to get in the annex at the Civic Center.
Sure.
Even though, to my knowledge, auditions are in the annex.
Yes.
And I've been told that if you want to come around close to the building, you can walk on the grass to get to the annex, or you can come in the front door and go through the auditorium to the
down the hallway by the new bathrooms.
Yeah. Somebody will get you there.
They'll get you there. Sure will. Now, something else we want to talk about right now is Juneteenth is coming up, and the City of Tullahoma invites you to the celebration at CD Stamps. It's on June 19th, and the meet will start at 11 a.m. and go to 12 p.m. No, meet and greet 11 a.m., program 12 p.m. Speakers are Monty Burks, Eric Van Zant, Zenobia McGee, Thomas Davis, and Steve Berry is the organizer for that.
That's awesome. Those are wonderful people.
And a bunch of great people. And there it is up on the screen for you right there. The celebration of Juneteenth. And this town has embraced that celebration ever since it started.
Do we know what day of the week that is? Does it say?
Doesn't say. 19th, June 19th, wherever that is.
I'll look it up.
Well, y'all figure it out.
It's a great celebration, and I encourage people to come out to see it.
Yeah, and then we got the board, our city board, and it's budget time. So trying to find out where we're going to get the money to do what we need to do, and they had a meeting last night.
How'd that go?
Well, I mean, it's confusing. Because there's all kinds of changes. They have 3 readings, and you adopt it the first reading to where you can discuss it. It only has to be passed one time.
Oh, I see.
So the next board meeting after they have this, they did a study session last night.
Right.
Then that will all be presented. Then they'll argue over that. And bring it to the third reading, and at the third reading, it's got to be passed. But by then, they've hammered out all the junk, and figured it out, and then they'll bring a budget that will be appropriate.
And is this the budget for the entire year?
Entire year, yes, ma'am. 25, 26.
That's a big thing to deal with.
Oh, heavens, yes. Heavens, yes. Just like the school. That's what they're doing at Ferris School down there. They had an approved budget of that, I believe $19 million, and it's gone over by $2 million.
I know everything costs way more.
Well, and you don't know what a piece of sheetrock's going to be you budget something a year ahead.
And then you
know,
start
sheetrock might
building.
be double what it
Right.
was then. So it's, you know, but it's what we have to do and find a way to pay for it.
Exactly.
And, you know, everybody, I'll say this right here, everybody's talking about, oh, I don't want Save Tullahoma, Save Tullahoma. We don't need any more houses. Yeah, we do. But the only way your taxes aren't going to go up is if somebody else builds.
Comes in and, right.
You know, because everything's going up, and if nothing happens, you're going to, or the taxpayers that are here now are going to have to absorb all of that.
Yeah.
So don't get frustrated about somebody wanting to build a few houses around here.
And we need houses that people can afford.
Sure, sure,
There's
that's fact.
a lot of people starting out in life.
Yeah. So with that said, we'll run. You want to run that board video right now, CJ, and then come back to us after that.
So, in essence, the questions like Alderman Wilson is stating, we can address in our study session, I assume.
Yeah.
Because I mean, there's a lot of questions here that I have, so I don't want to be.
If I may jump in really quick.
Yes, sir.
Just to make sure I understand, the appropriated fund balance, that's the general fund, correct?
Right, that's a general fund is what you're looking at.
So I think to answer one of Kurt's questions, if you compare page 24, the total expenditures, to page 9, the total reserves utilized, if you look at the 23-24, it was budgeted to be about 38 million. We ended up having $500,000 less in revenue, but then we spent $700,000 less. So we actually ended up in the positive, and it doesn't look like we touched the reserve fund at all.
That's the effect I'm talking about.
Yeah, and it looks like so far this year, this budget 24-25, we haven't touched any of the reserves there either, correct?
No, we used it in the beginning as interim cash flow when we didn't have the property taxes, and now we're, I think we're covered. We're about running even.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that I did understand that correctly. And I thank you again, Sue. This is a lot of work to be put into this. And just a quick statement, one of the things talking to citizens that I've gotten a lot is where can we make cuts? And after speaking with all the directors, I'd like to thank you all. John, running the airport as efficiently as you can. Eric, getting our tipping fees as small of an increase as we can, keeping the fleet running. Chief Sons, getting donations from the FBI and other organizations. Chief Pearson, your firefighters doing a lot of the work on their own on their own fire hall. Excuse me, I'm getting over allergies. But I just wanted to thank you all for all of that.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments about just the structure of the budget, big scale, big picture questions about what's in it? If not, then let's go ahead and vote. So we have 4 yes, I can't count, 4 yes and 2 no. So this first reading passes, but of course, we still got plenty of work to do.
All right, we're back, and what we need to do right now is, do you realize, I heard something on the news today, that coffee, if you drink a moderate amount of coffee, it is good for you, your health, your brain health, and everything.
Well, I'm going home having about 12 cups of coffee.
12 cups of coffee. So I pulled a piece here that I wrote in 2016.
2016, okay.
It's called Coffee Spoons. I have measured my life in coffee spoons and morning pots brewing day after day until the years of sugared sweetness has caused my feet to swell and tingle in the most uncomfortable way. The shoes and belt are both too tight and pose impending doom. I couldn't bear, though, to start a day without the smell of coffee in the room.
I couldn't either.
Yeah.
I mean, I love that smell. I've always loved that smell.
Viggo Mortensen, great actor. He was Aragorn in the Lord of the Rings. He's been in so many movies. I saw him in a movie the other day called The Dead Don't Hurt. And it's an older movie, The Dead Don't Hurt.
Well, I'd agree with that.
And so he's got this little boy. He's got this little boy, and I won't go through the whole story, but at the end, he rides this little boy to the ocean. And he pulls out a spyglass and lets the little boy look out over the ocean.
Sweet.
Or the sea. And the little boy says, "What's out there?" And he says, "Water and more water." And he said, "Well, what's on the other side?" The other side. You know, so the sea, I wrote this. And about you, the universal you, or take it as an individual.
Okay.
You are the sea, an endless power from the Creator's hand. With relentless surges, you attack far-off shores, wash away pain and set hearts free as the ripples appear to cleanse the warm sand. You show life still holds magic and wonders galore. That's why to me you are the sea. The sea is immense. It covers most of the planet, but we know less about it than the moon and Mars. It holds the Earth's deepest trench and tallest mountain. The history underwater science takes for granted. They travel down there, but there are no cars. And the new life forms, hell, they quit counting. When things go bad and times get hard, your mind's a mess, so's the house and the yard. Look to the sea. The waves never stop. They go to the bottom, then come back to the top. So keep sailing. Give it your best, and sooner or later you'll be riding a crest. And then to me, you are the sea. An endless power from the Creator's hand, with relentless surges you attack far-off shores. Wash away pain and set hearts free as the ripples appear to cleanse the warm sand. And you show life still holds magic and wonders galore. That's why to me you are the sea.
Sweet.
All right? So be the sea. Don't give up. Keep fighting and keep going forward. And with that said, we'll be back after these short commercial messages.
I want to invite y'all to come by Clayton's, downtown Tullahoma. We try to serve the community, the area, and we try to help people with their feet and comfortable shoes. We still measure feet. We have a great new arch mat. We have insoles. Please come see us at Clayton's and let me help you find some comfortable shoes for those achy feet.
We're gonna fit your style. We're gonna make you smile. Service and quality at Clayton's Shoe Store. We're gonna fit your style.
My husband was diagnosed with a spinal infection. He lost his ability to swallow and the movement of his legs.
I couldn't turn over in bed, I couldn't walk, I couldn't eat.
They were just wonderful in the treatment and care they gave my husband.
I regained my mobility where I was able to go home.
It is miraculous.
Let us champion your recovery. Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
Hi, I'm Terry Stroop with Stroop's Accurate Refrigeration, your #1 hometown HVAC company. We offer dependable and reliable service on all your HVAC equipment. We also offer high-efficiency trained cooling units. Call us for your cooling needs. Your comfort is what we do.
It's summer, call Stroop.
Gracie and Pedro might not get along so well.
They're standing on my tail.
But there's one thing they agree on. there's a right seat for everyone.
Oh, that's the good stuff.
Whether you're a dog,
Hold on, Pooch.
a cat, a fish, or a rat.
And I'm a ferret.
Be sure to travel safe.
How can you be so sure? I'm absolutely positive.
On your next adventure, make sure your children are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and we're pleased to have joining us on the set now, representing the Coffee County Recovery Program, and we have to my immediate left, Alan Burnett, who's the Executive Director, and to his left, Will Taylor, who is, you are one of the sponsors of that organization, I believe, or you're not, or one of the sponsors of one of the events.
Yes, sir. We help sponsor one of the youth events there with the Recovery Court.
Okay. Now, you're pretty new to not Tullahoma, but the Manchester area.
Very new.
Yeah,
yes,
but
sir.
not to this area, and you are the executive director. How'd you evolve to where you came to be the executive director, and how does that fit so well for you?
Well, I mean, I'm a person that's in long-term recovery, so I'm a person that has struggled with addiction myself for a very long time. I struggled with alcoholism as well as cocaine. A little over 20 plus years.
You had some expensive habits.
I did. Very, very expensive.
Right.
Probably for 18 years straight, I was under the influence of something. Yes, and that's just how I woke up every single day. But had gotten into some trouble back in 2004, went on the run for about a year and a half. I hid out over here in Tullahoma at Dossett Apartments, and I got to the point to where I could turn myself in. During that time, it was 2006. There was the recovery court, well, it was drug court back then, had that program going on. But the entire time that I was out there using, I had always wanted something to help me to get out of that state of mind. And I never had anything. I never had any structure. I never had any support. I never had any guidance. Never had any love or any of that. But once I turned myself in, went through the process of looking at recovery court to see if that was something that I wanted to be a part of. My probation officer at the time, she told me that I could not do drugs during that period of time because I was going to be on probation.
Right.
But when she said that you can't drink, it seemed like all the weight in the world lifted up off of me, because I never smoked dope unless I was under the influence of alcohol.
Right.
So I knew that if I could nip the alcohol part in the bud, everything else would pretty much take care of itself. So I entered that program and went through the program. Didn't have any hiccups or anything like that. Graduated in 2008, and I pretty much started from there just talking about my experiences growing up and just trying to give positive encouragement, positive advice moving forward. And my probation officer, she saw something in me that I didn't at that point in time, and she had me to go get some certifications and start facilitating classes for my peers. And then some people from the community, especially the coalition that is existing over in Franklin County, saw something in me that I didn't see. So she utilized my gifts, my talents into a program, and that allowed me to start building relationships within the county. And then seeing that, a program came through the Tennessee Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services that was geared towards the coalitions across the state, and that allowed me to take a position as the Tennessee Lifeline Peer Project Coordinator. So I covered 13 counties from 2013 up until this time last year, implementing things into the community like recovery courts, coalitions, recovery programs, bringing about education. All the counties I covered were rural communities, reducing stigma, being a face and a voice of somebody that's in long-term recovery. And in that, we changed the way that society looks at people who struggle with addiction. During that time, you take a look at from 2013 the state took 10 individuals who are in long-term recovery and spreaded them out across the state, covering like 13 counties. I think I was one of the individuals that covered the most counties throughout the region or throughout the state. But people didn't talk about recovery. It was hard for people to talk about addiction from 2013. But you take and look at today of how people take and celebrate recovery. People take and celebrate, I got 2 days clean, I got 3 days clean.
Yeah.
And you know, that's huge.
Because it's kind of a day at a time, I'm guessing.
Yeah, absolutely. You know? So, you know, you took 10 individuals working across the state to change the stigma and the way that people look at addiction today, and now we celebrate it. And I know that the state probably has, what, 25 of us?
I think so now.
Or 25 individuals that cover the entire state, changing or reducing stigma related to the disease of addiction. But this time last year, this position opened up over here in Coffee County, and somebody asked me, they said, Alan, this position is open. I think you'll be a good fit. Send me your resume. I said, okay, I ain't gonna get this position. I said, you know, I'm good right here, but I interviewed, and within a couple hours, they had called me and said, it's yours if you want it. So here I am.
All right.
Yep.
Great. You mentioned something in describing that to me about disease of addiction, and I'm thinking that, you know, for a lot of people, they're not criminals. They've just got an addiction here,
absolutely,
and they need some help.
Absolutely. Yeah. You know, just a little support, a little hands-on. You know, whenever I first started my position with the coalition over in Franklin County, my supervisor at the time sat me down because I'm having to work with computers and that sort of stuff. And she sat me down and she told me to turn my laptop on. And I'm looking all over this joker and I'm like, how do I turn this thing on? Whenever I worked with a computer, it was 1988, 89, 90, and it was floppy disk.
Yeah. Yeah.
Back then, so, you know, from that point in time, I mean, a lot of my time was out there in the street. But what she did is she pointed out where the power source was. And she realized at that point in time that I needed more than just somebody telling me what to do, but somebody showing me how to do it.
Right.
So she walked alongside of me the entire process, helping me to get to where I'm at now.
I see.
Not just telling me.
Were you able to hold a job down prior to getting involved in this program?
I showed up once a week. I did construction work, but let's say from 2000 and since I've been clean, this new way of living, I've maintained a job every single day.
But it's been so long now. What?
18 years.
18 years that it's probably a way of life for you now. Is it
Yes,
not?
sir. Absolutely,
Right.
absolutely. You know, like just having the position as recovery court director, that's just a title to me. I mean, it is what it is, and I don't say that in a bad way. Everything that everything that I'm doing now, I was doing while I was incarcerated. Nothing has.
So you've actually spent some time in jail?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Nothing has changed. I ran my mouth while I was incarcerated, and I've continued to run my mouth still to this day. I just get to run it on different stages in different areas. So I've taken the education that I've gained throughout the past 18 years and, you know, spread it where it's needed.
Yeah. And
I feel like it's needed everywhere.
Absolutely.
So I've been a face and a voice of somebody that's in long-term recovery for the past 18 years. Yes.
Okay. Great story. Talk about a little bit about the recovery court and how does it work? How does somebody take advantage of those?
Well, I mean, you know, it's geared towards individuals who continue to commit crimes, who are struggling with addiction. So it's a more structured type probation or program, I should say. There are several different phases that they have to complete in order to graduate. We want them to graduate within 18 months. We understand that there may be some hiccups. Hopefully there's not, but I know that whenever I went through the program, some people said that, you know, it's something to set you up to fail. But I don't see failure. You know, you continue to walk with an individual. If they're continuing to press forward and go forward, you continue to work with them. So, you know, we have those different phases. If they have a hiccup or whatever, there's sanctions for that. If they do good, there's incentives for that. Just by the regulations through the state, they can't be a violent offender. We want them to have four years sentence, at least a 4-year sentence, to be able to come through the program. The program you have to have a referral from your attorney, which goes to the district attorney, and then myself, as well as the judge, district attorney's office will, and our recovery court team will vote and see if that individual is a good candidate.
When you mention 4-year sentence, you don't have to actually spend all of that time in jail. Is that correct?
Correct. We do want you to have some jail time from jail, depending on what your assessment scores. You may have to go to treatment, or you may have to do intensive outpatient treatment. But coming out of incarceration, you're going to have some kind of treatment.
Right. Okay. All right. So, as one who's been through it, you kind of understand what these guys are going through, guys and girls.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. I think that right there is a huge benefit for the individuals that's coming through it, because I understand, you know, I understand where they're at, and I know what that darkness looks like. I know what that darkness feels like, so I kind of understand. Well, I ain't gonna say I do understand what they're going through. I understand what that pain feels like.
Right.
You know, and I want them to take and have some of what, if not all of what I have.
Right.
And I don't have a whole lot, but I do have life.
Right.
I do have joy. I do have freedom.
Right.
And I think that everybody's deserving of having that.
Right. Through all this process, I understand you become spiritually aware as well, have you not?
From day one.
From day one.
From day one.
Yeah.
From day one. And so, you know, there's a lot of talk about jailhouse religion and this and that.
Right.
Yeah. Well, that's where I found
it apparently worked.
Yes, sir. And I think it works for everybody.
Right.
I really and truly do, because, you know, whenever we're in those spaces, we truly are able to tap into ourselves. It's just, it's difficult sometimes whenever we get out here in the real world, because we don't have any structure, or we don't have any support, or we don't have any education to learn about who we are as a person.
Right.
And I think that me learning who I was or who I am as a person has helped me to move forward, because doing that I learned to like truly start loving myself. And I feel like when a person truly starts loving themselves, the better decisions they start to make.
How does one get referred to this program or get into this program?
Well, pretty much their attorney.
Oh, really?
Yes, yes, sir. Like if you going, or if you got legal issues, you could talk with your attorney. Like a parent may be aware of recovery court, and they may have a child or a loved one that may be incarcerated or got some legal issues going on, and they can always say, you know, hey, why not recovery court? It's a program that can help you. But the process is, it has to go through their attorney, and that attorney has to send in that application to you.
But at the point you get into the recovery court, you pretty much have to have your issues, maybe
You
not
have to
your
be
sentence
sentenced. Yes, sir.
served, but you've got to have the issue resolved.
Yes, you got to be sentenced. Yes.
Right. Oh, okay. Well, how are you involved in the recovery?
That's a great question. Me and Alan actually have a long history.
Really?
Yes, sir. Yeah. Alan actually is the one that got me into recovery.
Really?
Yes, sir. In 2013.
Were you acting bad?
Yes, sir. I was out there acting bad, unfortunately. Yes, sir. And in and out of incarceration, of course, coming up in a single family household, a mom of 4 kids, kind of at her wits' end, and actually a coworker encouraged my mom to attend a coalition meeting, which was at the time they titled them Anti-Drug Coalition, where Alan had presented there before, talking about his work with the state and helping navigate the treatment system. And through that, my mom kind of got, educated herself, and I was at my wits' end, of course, in the judicial system, and was presented kind of an intervention style there with my mom and, of course, the judicial system. And at the time, we didn't have recovery courts, so
right.
Alan helped me start that path of recovery.
Right.
And since then, we've become brothers. Since he really, he spoke earlier about, his former director really showing him that power button, really demonstrating it, right? Not just telling, but the experience of walking someone through it. And that's really what he did for me, honestly, through that recovery journey. I had a lot of internal fear, not knowing what life would be like, because the past 20 years had been associated to some form of substance.
Right.
So he stayed with me in contact, and after treatment stayed, plugged in with me, and still was, I like using the word invest, right? He was investing, into me. And he spoke about his work with the state, and at the time I wasn't a believer, but through just individuals like Alan and some others, investing in me, God started really making profound emphasis in my life. And one of those profound moments was, next thing you know, I'm working with Alan at the state, and got to work with a project at the time called Project Lifeline under the Faith-Based Initiative, and did that for right at 7 years, and then just kind of was nudged into a different direction, and started an organization called Recovery's the New High, where we focus in on education to just the general community on mental health and substance abuse and advocacy, and then consulting, helping build up organizations and agencies reach their full potential. So,
I'm going to ask this question, but I know the answer to it. You seem to be a very happy person today. Is that a fair statement?
Absolutely, absolutely. Alan talked about just the freedom. Freedom, I know for myself, I can take for granted of what freedom is. When I was going through in and out of incarceration, freedom was just being outside of jail.
Yeah.
But recovery's actually given me, peace, that internal peace, freedom of just my mind, from the compulsiveness of thinking that I had to have a substance to continue, just living. The true freedom today is just being able to enjoy life on life's terms.
It's giving him a new high.
That's it. It's giving me.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, and you like this high much better than the other one, I'm sure.
Absolutely. It doesn't have the negative consultations with it, those negative impacts.
Exactly. How long have you been in recovery now?
Going on 13 years.
13 years. You're probably going to make it now, I think, both of you.
I hope so. Just reminding myself to do the things that got me here.
Right.
Yes, sir. So,
talk a little bit, we're seeing some video up there. Talk a little bit about that. What's happening there?
Yes, sir. This was an opportunity, really talking to Alan and some of the other community members, the local health councils, the school systems, the Journey Together program there, really wanted an opportunity to invest into our youth, and kind of a collaborative, what we call the Coffee County Collaborative Coalition spawned from that. And one of the first initiatives there was creating an after-school program for kids just to voluntarily participate in. And we kind of incorporated a flag football concept with that, just for the youth to participate. In this line of work, we hear so many individuals maybe kind of doing training sessions and things, but something that Alan's taught me is the concept of being present in someone's life, right? just like he was in mine early on. That carries more value than I think a lot of times we want to admit. And this is an opportunity. We called it our Super Bowl, kind of the end of year finale, where we come together, and it was amazing time, amazing turnout.
Like that guy right there that just ran and scored that touchdown, he was a kid, he had Down syndrome. So he was from Coffee County Middle School, and recognizing that, what his circumstance was, we wanted this man to be able to celebrate something and feel like that he's accomplished something throughout this entire process of the flag football. So whenever people was going after him to pull the flag, I was telling them to get away and let him go, and let him have his moment.
Right.
So that was huge. That was real huge for that individual. I think it was huge for the crowd too.
So much come from this event, though, and really this event started the first of the year. Meeting with the schools twice a week, really investing in them, not just through maybe an athletic extracurricular activity perspective, but really just showing them the concept of discipline, teamwork, and pulling out their hidden talents, their athletic abilities, but really helping them make healthy decisions.
So is it this is a project? Am I correct? Of the drug court this event here that we just watched.
It was just kind of a collaborative effort between a lot of community agents. That was the drug court, the school system, and the collaborative coalition, and Recovery's New High. We were able to participate and sponsor that event as well.
Okay. I think this is going to be a big success. I like both of you guys, and you both are such up people.
It is. My ultimate goal for this after-school mentorship program is to get this implemented into all the schools throughout the county.
Right.
And it's the flag football is just something for fun. The ultimate goal is being able to put mentors into these schools for these kids. I know whenever I was growing up, not having that right there, the difference it could have made. And just over the past few months, we seeing the difference as a whole from Westwood to Coffee County Middle School. The difference it's made in those children's lives. And it doesn't just have to be middle school, it can be elementary. But the cool aspect about that is not just getting to know the child, but getting to know the family. And being able to provide a resource for that family. I think that right there is what's huge, because there's a lot of need that's in the county, and some people just don't know where to tap in to get those resources.
Right.
So why not bring the resources to them?
Right. Guys, thank you so much for coming by today. I probably run over twice what I was supposed to, but that's okay. It was a great subject, and you guys are great people.
Thank you.
I commend you on what you're doing and the comeback you've made here, and what a positive influence you've been on a lot of people, I'm sure, along the way. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Fuller.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
We'll be right back with more living right after this.
This place, where you grew up, where your memories were made, and where your dreams were born, where your neighbors stop to say hello, and where you're always welcome to stay a while, where your Fridays are spent under the lights, and where Saturdays are made for the water, where you can feel good about a hard day's work and take pride in a job well done, where small business makes a big impact, and home is always a sight for sore eyes. And where the best things in life, well, the best things in life are the little things. Tullahoma Utilities Authority. Power in community.
For many senior citizens, life looks like this, but it doesn't have to. When you make your home at Parkview Senior Living, life after retirement takes on a whole new meaning. Daily exercise options, fun outings, happy hour, game nights, movies and popcorn, arts and crafts, enjoying friends over chef-prepared meals. Parkview Senior Living, where you're always home, but you're never home alone.
Hi, I'm Terry Stroop with Stroop's Accurate Refrigeration, your #1 hometown HVAC company. We offer dependable and reliable service on all your HVAC equipment. We also offer high-efficiency trained cooling units. Call us for your cooling needs. Your comfort is what we do.
It's summer cough drops.
So you've been meaning to do something healthy, commune with nature, get outdoors and meet new people. We have the perfect solution. Come hike with us. You can find a Tennessee Trails Association chapter near you, including Clarksville, Columbia Franklin, Highland Rim, Jackson, Knoxville, Oak Ridge, Memphis, Murfreesboro, Nashville, Plateau at Crossville, and Upper Cumberland. We're on the web at TennesseeTrails.org. It's fun, it's stress-free, and it's good for you. See you on the trails.
Okay, 2, 3, 4.
She's a face in the crowd that your eyes catch. She's a girl next door in 1F. She's a disco ball dancing queen, reaching out a hand saying dance with me. Sunrise smile behind the coffee counter, my unwritten story, greatest adventure, poetry in motion, walking, told me down the sidewalk. Rembrandt angel leaves me in a free fall. Oh yeah, she could be my all-American. Oh yeah, my all-American beauty. Oh yeah, she could be my all-American. Oh yeah, my all-American beauty, beauty. All-American beauty, beauty. She's a big surprise, didn't see it coming. The once in a lifetime I've always wanted. Needle in a haystack, but love the way that she's a dazzling diamond. Doesn't know she's stunning. To the one she might be just another woman, but I'm a Shakespeare dreamer who couldn't live without her any night or day. She makes me better in every way. Oh yeah, she could be my all-American. Oh yeah, my all-American beauty. Oh yeah, she could be my all-American. Oh yeah, my all-American beauty, beauty. My all-American beauty, beauty. Yeah, take it, Scott. American beauty. Oh yeah, she could be my all-American. Oh yeah, my all-American beauty, beauty. My all-American beauty, beauty. Yeah, my all-American beauty, beauty. My all-American beauty, beauty.
All right. That was quite a few words.
Yeah, lots of words.
I'm so excited today to have these people on the set with me. Some time ago, maybe 8 years,
It was 8, 9 years
this
ago.
young man was in high school and he came and sang on the South Jackson Goes Country show several times, maybe 3 times at least. And One day this week, last week or so, I woke up thinking, you know, I need to get in touch with J4. And here he is today. I am so pleased to have you. And with him is Jennifer from Franklin.
Jericho.
Jericho. Not Jennifer, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Jericho. How could I ever forget that? And Scott from Maryland, right?
Scott Barrier.
Are you originally from Nashville?
I'm not originally from Nashville. I'm from Buffalo, New York originally.
Oh, all right.
But I moved down here for high school. So I moved down here when I was 15. Yeah.
So you're pretty much a citizen of Tennessee.
I'm a citizen of Tennessee. I'm like half Nashville, half New York, I like to think, yeah.
J4 is going to perform for us on South Jackson Goes Country this year as the return guest, and we're thrilled to death about that. And we know that he's just released an album, right?
I'm just about to release an album.
Just about to release an album. But tell me what all's been going on with you lately.
Oh, there's been a lot. This year's been a really awesome year. God has blessed my music career in ways that I can't even understand this year, so it's been wonderful. I signed my first publishing deal this year with Lucky Sky Music. My publisher is Kirsty Manna, and who's responsible for Blake Shelton's early career with songs like Austin and stuff like that. So
you couldn't have had a better publisher.
I couldn't ask for a better publisher in the whole wide world.
Awesome.
And then I've also become a professor of songwriting over at Middle Tennessee State University. So it's just been, you know, a lot. It's been
you
a
didn't
lot.
just lay around and drag your feet, did you? You've been a little busy.
I don't know. Some days I feel like that, but you know.
Don't forget this.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. We had a song that Scott Jericho and I wrote.
Did that show? Were you able to see it?
I don't know.
That placed top as a finalist in the Tin Pan South songwriting competition, which is one of Nashville's premier songwriting.
That is wonderful, and all three of you are songwriters. Obviously, Scott has written for a long time, right?
I have.
And had some top numbers on the
I've been
charts.
very blessed as well. It's funny because my number ones are in Australia. There's 4 of them.
You're kidding.
They love me in Australia. I don't know what happened.
Well, why
Other than
not?
God just like, you're going to be successful over there. I'm like,
That's okay.
right.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yes.
And Jericho, do you have your own songs that you've written?
Yeah, I've been writing since I was 10. I've been writing for 20 years. Yeah,
That's
I've been writing
wonderful.
a long time. So I'm blessed and honored to write with these two. It's incredible.
Well, John Gray and I love songwriters, and the originality is just superior to me. And your blend in voices, by the way, how great that is. How many times have y'all gotten together?
A few now.
Just a couple.
Maybe.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping that I'll get to hear another song, so
Yeah.
what would you like to play?
Let's play another one. This is one I wrote with Scott and Jericho here.
Oh, good.
As well as Shannon Bastoni, and this one's called Jacket, and this is the song that was in the Tin Pan South songwriting competition. So we got to play this at Tin Pan South in Nashville this year. It still hangs up on the hook by my front door, even though you don't reach for it anymore. Left alone, forgotten in this house, the same way that I feel right now. And there's no way of mending what's been torn. The sleeves still hold the scent of your perfume, and the hood still has a hint of your shampoo. Strands of golden hair still on it, and if I'm being honest, I'm afraid that if I wash it, I'd lose you. It's a little bit more worn out than it used to be, but every frame means something bittersweet and beautiful to me. Every stitch holds a story, every mark is a clue that the truth is where as faded as this weathered navy blue. And me in this old jacket are still holding on to you. It's got a spot of lipstick from our first night's kiss, tickets in the pocket from that concert that we missed, and a love note in the lining from when I still called you mine. But
but wearing it's a hurt I can't resist. It's a little bit more worn out than it used to be, but every frame means something bittersweet and beautiful to me. Every stitch holds a story, every mark is a clue that the truth is where as faded as this weathered navy blue. And me in this old jacket are still holding on to you. I could shout and I could change, but our love story still remains. And there's nothing I could do to unravel what unraveled me and you. Whoa, it's a little bit more worn out than it used to be, but every fade means something bittersweet and beautiful to me. Every stitch holds a story, every mark is a clue that the truth is were as faded as this weathered navy blue. With me in this old jacket, I'm still holding on to you. You're just like an old habit, I'm still holding on to you.
That is, that has touched my heart. That is wonderful.
It's a true story.
Yeah, it's based on a true story about a jacket that one of my ex-girlfriends wore.
Yeah. We all survive it. And that's what's so beautiful about music, because you can write your heart in it and your soul and put it out there. So tell me about the tour you're going to be fronting from some group?
Yeah, I do a lot of touring. I do a lot of opening for an artist named Tori Martin. She's a #1 country artist out of Texas, and she's also affiliated with the label that I work with, Lucky Sky Music. So yeah, I do a lot of opening for her, and then I also perform with her as a keyboardist, a guitarist, and a background vocalist as well.
That is wonderful. And in a few years, she might be fronting for you. It can happen. I know. I expect great things out of you, J4, and I'm so happy that you're going to be on our show this year, and maybe you guys will come. We'll talk about it. If not, we'll certainly talk about it and set it up. Okay. I love the blend. I love the way you put yourself into the song, and the blend of your voices works out perfectly. Are you a voice major, any of you? No.
I was.
Okay, you were.
Yes, sir.
I was just a high school chorus, college chorus guy.
You're just that guy that never gave up and sat down and wrote your music.
I just kept on going.
And that's what it takes.
Yes.
A lot of pizzazz.
Passion and love. Of
right.
Absolutely.
Have you got how many songs you think you've written that you feel like has been successful?
Oh, that have been successful versus how many I've written?
That ratio.
I mean, I've had a couple hundred cuts in my life.
That's wonderful in itself.
In terms of like major success, I've had about 11 movie placements in terms of Hallmark, Lifetime, Up TV, Netflix, Amazon Prime, that kind of stuff. A few with Jericho that I've had placed, and then I had a #1 in Australia with Lily Grace with Scott. We had
Summer.
Give Me That. It was a summer single last year for an Australian artist named Lily Grace, who's in the States now.
It knocked somebody out.
That's exciting.
Yeah, it knocked Keith Urban on a #1 for a week or two. It was pretty cool.
It did, yeah. That's a big deal.
That was wonderful.
That felt pretty good.
That
Sorry,
felt
Keith.
pretty good.
Sorry, Keith.
I'd say, 1 out of every 100 songs has legs on it, that I write. I've written probably 2,500 to 3,000 songs in my life, and out of them,
amazing.
30 of them have had major commercial success, but
I don't think you could ask for more.
No,
honestly, that's great.
Absolutely, and I wouldn't want anything different. I love the craft of songwriting, and that's what I love.
And I would think that you don't always write a song expecting it. You write it because you feel like you want to write it. I can tell you right from your heart, and I think you probably do too.
Yes.
Very real.
It's very
we go
important
for,
to us.
yeah, real is super important.
Real is super, and
Yeah, go for
it
real.
shows in your work. You're not just grabbing at words, you're grabbing at the feeling and the words. Well, we definitely want to hear another song, so I want to make sure we have time. So.
J4 just released this on Friday.
Yep, this is a
Does
song.
a new release? And by the way, when you're buying tickets for South Jackson Goes Country, Saturday night will be the show these guys will be on. So
come on out.
Grab your tickets now.
Well, this is my latest release. I just released this one this past Friday. This is based on a true story, and it's called Romeo and Juliet. I wrote this with an incredible songwriter named Jan Buckingham, who's one of my favorite songwriters in the whole world. She's been a huge mentor to me. But
She should be in the Hall of Fame.
Should be in the Songwriters Hall of
Just
Fame.
had cuts with everyone that's
Gosh, yeah, her list is.
Killing myself, trying to keep our love alive. When you're gone, I can't sleep at night. New York and Tennessee are as far away as you are from me. I'm running hard, tired of losing sleep. We live our lives like Romeo and Juliet. We're about as close as North and South can get, and I wait it's over. To hell with our regrets. We live our lives like Romeo and Juliet. Looking down, trapped in your ivory tower, but can't you see that you and I have the power? Get off of that balcony, we'll run away in secrecy. They'll never find us once we're finally free. We live our lives like Romeo and Juliet. We're about as close as North and South can get, and oh wait, it's over. To hell with our regrets. We live our lives like Romeo and Juliet. Trying to warn us and scare us both to death. They're not afraid of what hasn't happened yet. We live our lives like Romeo and Juliet. We're about as close as North and South can get, and when it's over, to hell with our regrets. We live our lives like, we live our lives like, we live our lives like Romeo and Juliet. We're about as close as North and South can get, and when it's over, to hell with our regrets. We live our lives like Romeo and Juliet. Whoa, 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 whoa. We live our lives like Romeo and Juliet. Whoa, 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 we live our lives like Romeo and Juliet.
When asked why I go with light tube, well, the answer is pretty simple. In 1946, a company was formed to provide phone systems and nurse call systems at an affordable price. That company would continue to grow. In 2000, that communication team realized the dot-com bubble would provide power, flexibility, and efficiency to house voice-over internet phone services. So they built their own platform and installed their first voice-over IP system in 2001. While Host My Calls was getting started in 1946, a year later, in 1947, saw the beginning of the Tullahoma Utility Authority. They would start providing electric power to homes and businesses throughout the entire Tullahoma area. In 1977, as more services were needed, the current building was built to provide both power and water to meet the needs as Tullahoma's growth continued. And in 2008, Tullahoma would venture into the world of fiber optics and start providing the strongest internet service in the area at affordable prices. With the history of these two companies providing dependable service, selecting LightTube for host my voice, text, and video to run over was an easy choice. Call today, 931-581-4411, and start experiencing great communications.
We teach Parkinson's patients how to move big and not let the Parkinson's slow them down. I've had patients I've treated in-house that could not even stand up, could not roll over in the bed, left the facility walking with a walker, have come back to us in outpatient and continued their big program and are now completely, handling life. The success of the program is just phenomenal.
Let us champion your recovery. Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old.
But I am a camping influencer.
You know what? I'll bet you $5. Okay. Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, a couple of weeks ago we had the Ladies Impacting the Community Award celebration by the Chamber of Commerce, and this year's guest speaker or keynote speaker was a dear friend of mine and a dear friend of this community, Miss Kat Murray. So let's go to that right now and listen to what Kat has to say.
So I just want to give a little warning that this is about a lot of numbers. And it's about truths that make people feel a little bit uncomfortable, but they're truths, and that's all I have. And you will be tested afterwards, Mr. Woodard, so make sure you take notes. All right, please raise your hand if you knew I'm 66. Did you know if you know? Okay, so the ones that don't know that I'm 66, let me see your hand. If you didn't know I was 66, let me see your. Okay, all right. Let me see where my under 30s at. Where you at? Under 30. All right. Under 40. Okay, so I'm going to give you a little bit of advice for you 30 and 40s. Okay, I'm not sure where I heard this at or where I saw it, but I want you to live by that and all of Olay, and you'll look as good as me when you're 66. That's not on here, but I made that up. Age is more than just a number. It's a testament in the journey to life. The experiences we've gathered, the lessons we've learned, and the wisdom we've acquired. That's what your lesson is for today. When I opened my little hand for the first time in January 31st, 1959, I had 3 extra fingers that fell out of my hand. So I'm sure my mom was a little bit surprised, right, Cheryl? Cheryl, my oldest sister's here. Y'all give her some. That's my oldest sister. So she was just taking a bite of a sandwich, so she might fuss at me later. So I opened my little hand and these fingers fell out. And I'm sure my mom was surprised, like I said. But I think those little fingers made me extra special. Extra fingers, extra special. So what happened after that was just, if I tried to put my entire 66 years in these pages, we'd be here till next Thursday. So I tried to condense it down a little bit. And I was born in Austin, Texas. There was 10 children. We had 1 bathroom and 2 bedrooms. So just think, there's literally 12 people in this house. I don't remember how we got ready for school. I guess we did in shifts. But we all are really great to each other still today. We love each other, and we spend as much time as we can, even though we're in different states. I had brothers and sisters, and they would drill things into us in the summer. We'd sit on the front porch, and we'd have to go to summer school. And I didn't realize until I actually went to school that that wasn't a thing. So when I went to preschool, I was like, no, Miss Whoever, I know how to tie my shoe. I know how to tell time. My sisters and brothers taught me that. They kicked me out of preschool. Not joking. I got kicked out of preschool. So, but that was the start of Smart Attic Cat. So did that discourage me from wanting to learn anything? Not even close. I was always wanting to learn stuff, even from before they started torturing us on that porch. So I made it a point to learn as much as I could about anything that I could. By the first grade, and we're going to get all the way through Tullahoma, but by the first grade, my fingers had kind of extended a little bit, and like kids are kids, so nobody really wanted to hold my hand when we were at recess. So what I did, I decided I was going to have a recess study group. So here I am in first grade with the kids that also didn't want to go outside because they were teased. Because back in that time period, everybody was in one group. There was no special ed group. There was anything like that. So I took it upon myself in first grade to keep these kids in the class and teach them. Let's try leaving the first grader with 3 other kids in their class by themselves today. Yeah. So I did that until I was in the 3rd grade. And I really, at that point, that's when I decided that I really liked helping children. And so I did that. And as of today, I am still have a big love for children. So I believe it was 1965. And I say that, I was in first grade in 1965. And I say that to bring up this fact. My parents could not vote until I was 5 years old. So what they did was they were there when it was time to say, go to the polls, and everybody was keeping them away, but they went on and they took the 3 kids down and they voted, and that was 1965 when I was 5. But did that stop them from voting? No, it did not. When I was a kid, everything was segregated, everything. We had parks. It was our park, their park. The Hispanic people that lived on the street behind us, they had their park. So one day my dad got this brilliant idea that we were going to go to the white people park. I was like, okay. So we packed up in the station wagon. We always had station wagons. We packed up the station wagon and we went down to this park. Everybody cleared out. So everybody cleared out, but that didn't stop us from going. We went there every year until I joined the Marine Corps. We were at that park. But of course, over time it changed. But we just got to be sure that when we're doing things with kids that you're explaining to them. Because my parents tried to explain to us, what was going on the best they could. And so that's what we did. So when we went to, I love this place so much. I have said that I illegally want my ashes scattered, kind of Shawshank size, put in this park. So you put me in your shoes and shake them off and spread me around the park. And that's where I want to be. So if we fast forward to 5th grade, they decided they were going to start reeling us in to start us for busing. Because Texas, even when I was in 5th grade, said, no, we're not busing. So they had this great idea to have this this integrated camp. So at this camp, they got all the good kids. What good does that do? You got all the good kids, black, white, whatever. And so we spent 3 weeks together and we had a great time. But I don't think that the whole event was quite as good as they taunted it, as far as look at us what we did. We're all together and the kids had a great time. So I say that because sometimes in the news I felt like they were just making things when I'm just going to call us the good kids. When the good kids were doing things, they always talked about that. And then we always got accolades for that. But it was not one of those deals where the people that needed to be in this situation were invited to come. All know that I love music. I wanted to be in the band. But in 6th grade, when you got 10 kids, you can't afford a clarinet. So my dad bought a clarinet without telling my mom. That clarinet was $159. How many years do you think it took him in installment payments to pay for this clarinet? 2 years to pay $159. But he did, so it was probably a $1,000 clarinet by the time it was over, and I wish I had it. But I was in the band, and I stayed in the band, and so we went, then they started busing. Went over to the junior high school. We'd get up early in the morning, we'd go around the neighborhood for an hour and a half and pick up children in the neighborhood, and then we'd sit on the bus for 25 miles to go to school. Then we got to the school the first time. I'm 12 years old now. You're 7th grade. You're 12 years old. Got to the school, and were the kids outside screaming at us like you see on TV? No, it was the parents. We had parents with throwing rocks at us. We had parents with signs that says things that I can't say on Channel 6 News. And it was a scary situation. And we got all through that, and even up to 10th grade, there was still riots in the school. And that was, that was a long period. And so we just kind of persevered through the whole thing. The kids were great. We had a great time together. So once I did all that, we made it through school. I finally graduated in 1977, and I decided I didn't want to go to college. So what I did was, at that time, the government had money. And so I decided that I was going to go to the unemployment office, because you could do that then, and they had 5 or 6 programs you could choose from. I don't remember, only I remember is child care and nursing. And since today I still don't do Band-Aids, nursing was out. And I don't do blood, so anybody falls out, you're on your own. So I decided I was going to do child care. I figured I got a passel full of children, siblings, I got 9,000 nieces and nephews, I can do this. So I decided to go to this program, and what you did for 2 years, you went to this program in the morning, and in the afternoon you got to go hands-on at the after-school daycare center. So that was pretty cool. So we got to learn all of those things about child development. Then lo and behold, when my 2 years was up, they said nobody gets hired by the after-school care after that. But I didn't give up. I said, yes, we do. So I ended up getting a job as a curriculum coordinator. At 20 years old, I had no clue what a curriculum was, because that's the way I said it, a curriculum. I'm like, what's a curriculum? I didn't realize they were saying curriculum. Still didn't know what it was, but that's okay. I got this job, and I was pretty cool. I had 5 schools. I had 400 children and 25 adults. Never set step in a college, but I had a big family, so I kind of worked it that way. So I was pretty proud of that. And then one day, it was raining, 2 weeks in Texas. Y'all have never been in the Texas rain? Whew, it's like a flood. I was like, no, I don't think I can do this the rest of my life. 2 weeks it rained. So I said, I'll be back. So I went and joined the Marine Corps. So, same thing, children. So I just joined the Marine Corps, and I was like, okay, I joined the Marine Corps. Now what do? I have to go and tell my dad. And so I went to my dad's house, and I said, guess what I did today? He said, what did you do? I said, I joined the Marine Corps. And he always knows that I hate running. I hate it with a passion. And he looked at me dead in my eye, and he said, you do know they run in the Marine Corps, right? And I was like, oh, okay. But I'd already signed. And so I went. And then what happened after that was kind of crazy, because when I joined in March, I didn't go till June. So that's a long time to be with, got to go celebrate with my friends. Let's go eat over here. Oh, look, Chuy's is open today. It was a grand opening. Let's go eat over here. I gained 3 pounds, and they would not let me go to boot camp because I was 3 pounds overweight, according to the Marine Corps. Oh, I was mad. I was mad. And I didn't realize that my recruiter hadn't guaranteed my electronic position. That's what I want to do. So when I got to boot camp, I was what they call open contract. And so I could have been a car washer or general driver or work in the chow hall, but I ended up in supply and logistics. And that just meant that I shuffled papers all day and I ordered stuff and spent all your tax money. It was great. So I did that, but as soon as I got there, I joined Big Brothers Big Sisters, and my little sister, she'd probably kill me, but I think she's 52. But we still keep in contact, and we see each other as often as we can. So I was in Big Brothers Big Sisters in Hawaii for that whole children's thing. And then, in the next chapter, I decided they made me Marine of the Month, Marine of the Quarter, and Marine of the Year. That was, I don't remember what year it was because I'm getting too old to remember those days. Okay, you're clapping now, but wait till you hear the end of the story. So with all that, they decided that, the next step was to be Marine of the Island. So there was 4 Marine little bases on the island. So you had to go and you had to salute and sprout and clap and do all this stuff. You had a parade and all this kind of stuff. But they got to the point where they were going to announce Marine of the Island, and they called me into the sergeant major's office. He was a very big, scary black man. He was just tall and big, and I was like, oh, what did I do? So I went in his office, and he said, well, Murray, I have to tell you this. He says, because part of what you got for the Marine of the Island is you got to go to the governor's dinner. And he literally sat across the desk and told me, you can't go because they want a white guy representing the Marine Corps. And I was like, okay, well, you can have these, because you got a hotel in Waikiki and you got all this stuff. I said, well, you can have this back. I don't want the things. I want to be, right, General Harris, you with me? Yeah, he knows. And this was in 1984, I think. So this wasn't that long ago. So we're still doing with things like, I don't know what they're doing now, but in 1984, I thought that was kind of weird that it was 1984 and they didn't want a black woman representing the Marine Corps. And so, but hey, did that stop me from being a Marine? No, it did not. Did it deter me from anything? No, it did not. So I just like to say that we have to make sure we treat everybody like everybody else, because there is no difference in all of us. And I tell that to the kids all the time when they're having problems. So I'm telling you guys this as adults. So after the Marine Corps, I went back to Texas, and I got a job. My old job came up, but I wanted to go to electronics school because that's what I joined the Marine Corps for. And my brother worked at a school, so I got to go to this school, and they said, okay, well, you're almost done with this school, and you have made almost 100% on these classes, but you cannot, don't be expected to make 100. Well, you know what that meant. Don't tell Catherine no. So I got this 4.0, but let me back up to the other story in the Marine Corps, and then we're going to get out of the Marine Corps. When I was in school, in supply school, it was supply and logistics, and they said, you're on the track to be 100% in this school. I'm a little bit of an overachiever, can you tell? And so they said, you're pretty close to 100, and the actual colonel of the base came and said, don't expect to get 100. Don't expect that. And I was like, well, okay, so what does that make me? It makes me work harder. So they kept saying, don't expect to get 100, don't expect to get 100. Only one other person in the history of the Marine Corps had made 100. Who made 100? That's right. That's right. So as far as I know, at that time, I was the second person in the history of the Marine Corps to make that money. So after that, we're going to fast forward. I decided to go to California, went to California on the whim because I'm kind of whimsy. Went to California and got a job. The guy says, well, when can you come back? I said, about 2 weeks. I got to go get Wild Woman. That's my cat. Got to go get Wild Woman, put her in the car, and we drove back. So after 5 years of being that, and ironically, it was a copy and print center. No, I'm sorry, they sold copiers, ironically. And so what they did was about 5 years in, I think that was kind of my period. 5 years in, I was done with that. So I heard about it. College Motlow, which is not Motlow, it's just like Motlow, whatever the name of college is, but it's a community college. And they had an internship at NASA. And I thought, well, I can do that. So I decided to apply for the internship. And I did, and I got it, and I was very happy. It was in California. It was $6 an hour for half a day. And then and you didn't have time to work because those community college people keep you busy, Desiree. And so I didn't have time to work, so I had to live on this $6 an hour. So let's scoot on further, because I tell you, we'd be here till next Thursday. When it was the end of my year, my advisor, now this is my advisor, she said to me, I said, well, they said they're going to offer me a job. And she goes, oh, they don't do that. They just tell kids that. No, we're not kids. They just tell people that so that they work harder for the year that they're here. And I was like, well, that doesn't make sense. So I decided to prove her wrong because, well, I do that. And so anyway, so we get all to the end of the year, and she's still telling me, look for a job, because they're not going to hire you. And I was like, okay. So anyway, I worked 5 years at NASA. I worked 5 years at NASA. I loved it, and it was a great opportunity. And I work with rocket scientists and engineers, and found out the first week I did not want to be an engineer. That's what I went to school for. So I changed my major and got a degree in science. What is that? So after going through all that 5 years, like I said, it was a great opportunity, and I was very happy that I got to experience that, because there were some very sharp people at NASA, and I learned a lot from them. And after that, what I did was I came to Tullahoma, Tennessee. Well, okay, wait a minute. Actually, I came to Ester Springs. First, I was at Ester Springs. And I lived out there and got kind of bored. After 6 months, you get everything in place, and it's like, okay, now what do you do? So I decided to use some of my talent and make videos. Well, they did an article in the paper, and this principal called me and said, hi, can you come to our school, Farah Elementary? And I was like, okay, Miss Lichty. And I've been in that school ever since. So y'all, we blame it on Miss Lichty for getting me in there. We do. And I love the school system. I love the kids. I love all the teachers that I work with. And then I'm going to leave you guys on this if I can see it. Okay. So people ask me all the time, why are you so happy all the time? Why do you have to be, why is there a reason to be sad? So I found this thing from a man called Samuel Ullman. Kind of hard to say. Years may wrinkle your skin, but to give up enthusiasm wrinkles the soul. Thank you.